alien in the sense that people see the performance of their elected representatives solely in what they can give to them financially. And they don't stop to ask, well, how does this person manage to feed so many or meet so many obligations? Because I'm saying this because, in a sense, if you don't ask the question between the input and the output, then you are acquiescing to the corruption.
Absolutely.
That is true, but I think that we have to educate the populace to understand that it is not the responsibility of the MP to pay your medical bills, funeral expenses, and so on. You see, so there is the need for this massive and intensive awareness creation of the roles of the MP, and also the expectations. We have to change the mindset on the attitude of people, and it will take a lot of education. Now, you know, we have a blueprint for fighting corruption, you know, and I think it's important for me to mention this. 2 years ago, a working group was established, which representatives from all sectors, government, private sector, civil society, and so on, including development partners, to come up with a national anti-corruption plan to fight corruption. Over the years, it was facilitated by Shraj. Over the years, the document was developed, and 2 years ago, it was handed over to President Mahama. He was then Vice President. Okay, that document is based on 3 planks. You know, education, and it includes education about some of the things we're talking about, people's perceptions of what the MP is supposed to be doing, investigation and enforcement, and then prevention. You know, streamlining, for example, public institution, and making the procedures less cumbersome and so on. This document was handed over to Parliament, and it's been lying down there for 2 years, and nobody's interested in it, you know. And this demonstrates the lack of political will, you see, from the top, the Parliament, from Parliament, the executive, you see, in fighting corruption. Because if you look at that document, it really provides the various ways in which we can fight corruption with proper budgets and the implementing agencies that are responsible for the various aspects of the plan. But nobody's interested in it. And even to get it on the floor has been very difficult for reasons which I don't want to mention.
Prof, this is a very nice way for us to summarize. Emil has said there's a blueprint. It is stuck in Parliament. I last heard a similar comment about the Freedom to Information Bill, where the parliamentarians in private conversations say we support it, but they don't pass the legislation. How do you see the way forward in adding to what Emil has said about the blueprint?
Well, the thing is that civil society, sadly, is not contributory to our politics. You would have thought that they will be the referee in the tittle-tattle between what I would say the cozy political elite, the executive and the legislature. And civil society will be out there championing some of these things. But civil society is rather quiet in this country. So you do not get that pressure coming through for Parliament to take up and do what they're supposed to do. But, you know, this country cannot move forward. We cannot develop as I call ourselves. I still say that we're lower.
Middle income.
No. I don't accept this middle income country stuff, because I always say that if 69% of your population have no access to toilet, you have no business talking about yourself as middle income. I mean, the facts of the matter is that corruption is the bane of Ghana's development. And it's a very cozy relationship amongst the major political parties. It is there. When they get there, it inures to their benefit, nothing else matters. And so Parliament and sadly the executive are not keen to do anything. But civil society, sadly, is totally inept, and therefore they get away with it. But if civil society was active and was championing the cause of the ordinary person, then somehow Parliament would have to set up and the executive will have to set up and act.
Thank you both very much. Let me just finish off with some very positive comments. To my brother, President Mahama, there's a blueprint. There's a National Civic Education Council, which is part of the constitutional institutions of this country. Education seems to be very important in this area. I think it's about time they moved away from simply doing election campaigning to providing the kind of civic education that some of us benefited to when we were young in school. Civics and current affairs. That's how many of us became interested in public life. There's also the issue of the enforceability, that we shouldn't just have laws, but there should be annual reports on the performance of those laws. There must be proper enforcement, statutory enforcement, that the declaration of assets by political office holders must not be voluntary, must not be subjected to abuse, but must be a cardinal principle of faith that all politicians who get into office do. Politics and corruption in Ghana are Siamese twins. That's my take. Thank you for watching. If you have been, we'll see you again next week.